Congressman Mark Pocan drops by. Is it time to reduce military spending? Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Ken in Lafayette, Colorado. You're on the air with Representative Pocan.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for taking my call, Tom. And yes, Mr. Pocan, my question is in regards to, reforming, if you will, reforming the military, the police, and even congressmen. And I say this with the appointment of Lloyd Austin as the Secretary of Defense by President Biden, which I think was a great move. But one of his first things he did, I think he called it a stand down of military to weed out anybody that was involved in the riots on January 6th. So my question is, going forward, with that in mind, any plans, any committees put together to continue looking at the military and law enforcement to weed out the white supremacists that have infiltrated the system? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Ken. And I think, as you mentioned, the Secretary already said, that's part of what he was looking at. I think under a different administration than we had for the last 4 years, clearly that will be a priority, and I think that's going to happen. One of my big concerns and Barbara Lee's big concerns, and we just recently formed a Pentagon spending reduction caucus, is that we're trying to get a handle on the Department of Defense, period, right? Get a grip on what the Pentagon's doing, have some responsible auditing and some cuts on what we're spending and redirection of national defense. But I certainly think what you're asking for is already in process. I would like to see us go farther in doing things like not going along with what Donald Trump started around nuclear weapon modernization, because that's a huge boondoggle on many fronts. I'd like to see us look at the OCO account, the Overseas Contingency Account, and put it under the defense budget as opposed to outside of it, because that would help. That would be alone a 10% reduction in Pentagon spending. And let's right-size the private contractors and other things. I know that goes a little beyond what you asked for, Ken, but this is one of my priorities this Congress. Now that the sequester is done, we have an ability to try to cut Pentagon spending. And I think, working with this administration and this new secretary, we're hoping to get that done as well.
We just have 40 seconds. Reagan really championed brought back Warren Harding's idea that Harding's campaign slogan was less government in business, more business in government. In other words, deregulate and privatize. And Reagan went on a privatization binge. Any chance we can reverse that? Half our military budget is not going to the actual military. It's going to private corporations, if my recollection is correct.
We know. You're right, and we know that is much more expensive than with military personnel, and in some areas that we probably don't need to. So there's a lot of, I think, possibilities, Tom. Barbara Lee and I have been in talks with all the major groups, and we're working on a really good list to put forward this year to try to look for having reductions and right-sizing.
I wonder if characterizing privatization as fraud and waste would be useful. You think?
Just cost effectiveness. Using our military personnel is a much better way to go than having contracted out.